Yeah, this is very, very stringy pine. Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video we're going to look at how we can dress the exposed edges of tongue and groove boards, whether that's for decorative reasons or to hide wood movement. Hope you enjoy. So when it comes to dressing them, you can dress both the groove side and the tongue side. You can choose to do just one side or the other. It really depends. So this first method is just adding a chamfer, and I think that looks best when you have it on both sides, because then you're getting rid of that sharp edge on both of them and you just have a little V-notch, and that's a very common thing that you see in store-bought tongue and groove. So this side I'm going to do we'll put an S on both these. We're going to do a chamfer, and on this side I've got a little bead here, so we're going to actually run a bead on the other side, just so we can see what it looks like. So we'll put a bead here. Now, with the bead, it really depends if you want them on both sides. Chamfer on one side, a bead on one side. I think the bead looks best just on one side when you're running a bead, and when you're running a bead, I think it's usually best to run the bead on the tongue side. That's just personal preference. But if you're running it in a captive panel and you want to hide any shrinkage within your sort of captive panel, then you're definitely going to want it on the tongue side because you want it on the panel side. So you've got to bear in mind, when we're looking at this is about 6mm in this 19mm board. So you probably don't want to chamfer all the way through to the actual groove. You could do if that's what you want to do and match it on the other side. I don't think that looks very good. I don't like to go all the way through. I just like to add a 2 or 3mm. So we're only going to go in a little bit, bring them together, and you can look. It's personal preference. You can do your chamfer as large or as small as you want based on your personal preference. So we're going to lock this down here, and to do the chamfer we're just going to hold this on a 45-degree angle. Obviously you can change this angle based on whatever it is that you like. And I know this is not the easiest for you to actually see, because on this light timber it doesn't show up the best on the camera. But I think that is enough of a chamfer. So if we look here, you can check out that chamfer. You can see from the top that chamfer, and you can see I've only come in a few mil. Let's do the same to the tongue board. Bear in mind when you're working on your tongue board, it doesn't really matter if you hit your tongue, but it's better not to. So it might be better to use your tongue board to judge the angle of your chamfer so you don't come too far. And you can see there, it's gone a little more upright, which is not what I wanted, but you can see when I bring them together, it's more dressed up. Like any little shadow gap is kind of covered there because it just looks like it's sort of meant to be there. Obviously, you're still going to have some little gaps, and because I've had to go with a slightly thicker chamfer here, I can do that on the other side. You can see it's going to be by hand, so you're going to have little imperfections. It's not going to be perfect, and nor do you want it to be perfect when you're using hand tools. If you want that to be perfect, set it up on a router or something like that, power router, done. And so you can see even with its space there, in my eye, that actually looks better. There's no noticeable gap right to the surface. It kind of sets your gap a little bit further back, so it's just less noticeable to the eye, and in my opinion, just looks better. You've got to be very careful that you don't mess it up with these. You need to make sure that blade's very sharp, and to be honest, this is the first time I've actually used this particular blade because I needed a smaller one, and I've sharpened it up, so hopefully it's going to do what I want it to do. Now, you could run the bead flat like this and run it in flat like that, but I've purposely taken the fence off this because I want to just give it a slight tilt that way so it gets part of the bead sort of on that top edge. So just as we always do, we're going to go slow. And let's get some of these fibres out of the way because they're not breaking off as cleanly as I would like. But I don't want to tear the far side of the fibres, so I'm going to pull it back. That way you can see where it's stuck on. I might actually need to have a little nicker on this. Shouldn't normally when going with the green like this, so yeah, this is very, very stringy pine. It's not severing those far fibres. If we look up here, that's probably all we're looking for. A slight round over. It's curved it right out and we're left with a nice clean bead. What you don't want to do is go too far and make that too round, and then it looks terrible. So I've got to come right back to the start here, get it back into the angle I had. And this pine, I've not had this do this to me before, but that's alright. I'm just going to match the angle up here. And it's gone in a little too deep. But you just got to keep working with this by eye. Ideally, not stopping once you get it started. So I'm just lightly going through and hoping this lifts these fibres. So there's a few things we can do just to clean that up. You can just grab a piece of sandpaper, run that down the gap like this. If you want to clean up that top edge and keep it square, just a piece of sandpaper like this. You've got a safe edge. A little bit of a run down there, run along the tongue here. Or, if you're careful with a file, you can kind of clean that edge up with a file, but I don't recommend the file. And so now when you bring these together, you have a decorative shape. I usually wouldn't go as deep as this, but I'm having a few problems with that timber, as you saw. But you can go as large or as small if you want. And if you could imagine something like that sitting inside here, so you'd have that bead running around the inside of your frame. And then the other way, as I said, you can mix the two. So we have the bead here with a chamfer on the bottom, and that looks better than the square edge against the bead. I don't like the square edge against the bead. I like a bead against a chamfer, and that just tidies it off and it looks much neater and tidier. So it really depends where you're using this. The bead works best, I think, if you're using just like at the edge of a captive panel on something like a door like this. As a back panel, I think the best option is just you double chamfer like that if you're worried about it showing, or you could just go square as a back panel and not worry about it. Now, if you don't have a wooden plane with a shape like that, or a 45 that has those, you can make what's called a scratch stock. So if you're interested in how we can do something like that with a scratch stock, let me know, because I'd love to make a video on a scratch stock, because they're really a very basic tool, but they do a lot of decorative work for you. So do let me know about that down below. So there you have it, folks. That's the two main ways that you can dress up a tongue groove, or even just a tongue if you're doing it in a captive panel. I think it makes it look a lot better. What do you think down below? Do you prefer when we've done a little bit of work on the edge there to shape it? It does sort of make the gap look more like a shadow than a very obvious gap if you just had two square edges coming together. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe down below. While you're down there, do sound off the comments Is this the way you dress your tongue and groove boards? Is there some other way that you dress your tongue and groove boards? I'm eager to learn from the collective knowledge of all of you out there in YouTube land, so do sound off in the comments and maybe I can improve my process from some of the knowledge you have. And if you'd like to see another great video such as one you've seen here today, do check out the video down below where we made these tongue and groove boards through the showcase of the tongue and groove plane. Bye for now.